Welcome back. We continue live right here with the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. What a game. 41-33 Eagles win. There was a part of it with Malcolm Butler I'm going to get into shortly and make a comparison to LeVeon Bell. But on the topic of LeVeon Bell, Will Graves, this week he came out and he was on CBS National Show and basically came out and said, yeah, we weren't focused. We weren't ready to play. Surprising from a guy who came in late to the walkthrough and was late the next day for game day, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, look, I've been around LeVeon enough. Sometimes he talks long enough to make sure that he says something. That's just sort of his MO. You look at the tape of that game. I mean, can you really sort of argue? It wasn't. He's not the guy that called the toss play on and that was poorly blocked on 4th and 5, or 4th and 1. I'm sorry. I mean, the team was terrible the first 25 minutes of that game.
Yeah, but see, they got to say that.
The thing I can't figure out is, like, you're throwing this shade, then you're saying, but we're close to a contract extension, whether you are or not. It's actual, who knows? But that's the part. It's like a mixed message. I can't figure out what he's trying to get at here. Is he trying to come back, or is he trying to get out?
The lack of self-awareness is overwhelming. I mean, how do you actually say that when you're the guy who was tweeting the night before at midnight that the Steelers are going to have a round 2 against the Patriots? Lack of focus. I mean, if he's talking about lack of focus, not ready to play, then he should have been on time for the game and for the walkthrough the day before. I mean, I really am a fan of LeVeon Bell as a player. I like dealing with the guy and talking to him, but sometimes his comments and his actions off the field are baffling.
Yeah, I can't trust this guy, Tim. I'm done. I really am.
I'm almost there, too.
There's no almost for me. If this team was complete on defense and they didn't have holes, I could say, you know what? You want to throw $17 million a year, $18 million a year at this guy, give him $50 million guaranteed, fine. But this team's got some major holes to fill. I don't think they can afford it. We're going to give this guy, reward him a contract that is far bigger than any running back in the league. And this is how he's conducted himself the last couple of weeks of the season.
Isn't Antonio Brown been a guy that likes to be a distraction from time to time, and they made him the highest paid player in the receiver in the league?
But has Antonio Brown taken himself off the field before, Will? Has he done that?
I'm not
Has he gotten himself in trouble? Has he done dumb stuff to get himself off the field?
No, but that sort of makes it more frustrating because he does things that, like, aren't important but sort of are, but sort of aren't. I mean, I could say LeVeon also has shown questionable judgment. But when the guy plays, is he one of the 3 best players at his position in the league? He is.
All right. Andrew, I want to talk about Malcolm Butler because this sort of ties into LeVeon Bell in that LeVeon Bell has done some things which might have drawn some discipline by a head coach. It didn't result here by Mike Tomlin. But Malcolm Butler all week long was #1 corner. And then all of a sudden today, not only does he show up and not play, he's out the whole game.
Yep, I'm going to say this. Terrible job by Belichick.
What did he do?
That's the thing. And I have given Belichick all kinds of praise for the disciplinary things he's done, keeping his team in line. But if Butler screwed up Super Bowl weekend, missed a curfew, did something stupid, to keep him out for an entire game when he played more defensive snaps than anybody this season is cutting off your nose to spite your face. You're getting shredded by Nick Foles the entire game. I don't care what Butler did. At some point, you needed to put him out there because you were losing. So,
yeah, I think that's putting yourself as a coach at the center way more than whatever he did as a player to remove himself from the rest of the team. Well, I don't know what he did yet either. We'll probably find out within the next day or two. Then again, it's New England. Maybe we'll never find out. But to have a guy who was a Super Bowl hero for making a huge interception in the last few moments of the Super Bowl a few years ago, basically relegated to that of an extra in the whole Super Bowl performance, like one of the archers in the Dilly Dilly commercial. That's just like, I think you used the phrase well, Andrew. It's cutting off your nose to spite your face.
That's the Patriot way, though, right?
Well, a lot of Steeler fans want to see Mike Tomlin do stuff like this, but understand if he does do that, it could cost them a game like it maybe cost the Patriots tonight.
Well, I mean, but Belichick's a Hall of Fame coach, and this is not the first time he has just gotten rid of a player, whether it's for a game or cut them, period, if he has no use for them anymore. It looks bad tonight after Nick Foles lights
with Jamie Collins is one thing. This is the Super Bowl.
We don't know. I think to sort of speculate without knowing specifically what the deed was, if it was one thing, maybe it was a season full of things and there was a last straw this week. I mean, I think jumping to a conclusion that Belichick was absolutely in the wrong for doing this is a little – the guy's going to the Hall of Fame for a reason.
All right. We are up against it, but before we go, it's now time to go around the horn with this week's Smooth Moves, presented to you by Armina Stone, Pittsburgh's largest supplier of the smoothest granite, marble, and quartz countertops. All right. Guys, your smooth move of the week. Start with you, Andrew, and work our way down.
Bob, I'm going to say Jim Rutherford. We've got a baseball GM in town that says absolutely nothing can go on and on, talk himself into circles. Jim Rutherford did an interview with us, did an interview with you. You could have moved the interview back, up, whatever. The guy says things, he means it. Jim Rutherford, my smooth move.
I'm going to give it to the Air Jordans that Justin Timberlake won tonight. The anti-smooth move is for the rest of the outfit. Pomp, I don't even think you could pull off camo suits, bandana, leather jacket with the fringe.
But it was a great performance.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it was one of the worst in Super Bowl history.
Sometimes you got to start acting like a dad. He needs to start acting like a dad.
Worse since Up With People.
You're insane.
Yes.
I'm going to argue. First of all, let me argue with Andrew that Neil Huntington says nothing. I mean, he talks about win projections and compares them to the Twins. I mean, this is big. That's earth-shattering news. I will give my smooth move to Ron Burkle, owner of the Pittsburgh Penguins, for, I believe, the third time now getting the Gisele Bündchen box during the Super Bowl. I mean, if Gisele needs a shoulder to cry on after the loss, why not have it be yours? I mean, the guy's got everything. He's got 3 Stanley Cups as an owner, and he's got the box at the Super Bowl with Gisele every year.
Now he gets a cameo in Tom vs. Time.
There you go.
That's our smooth move segment of the week, brought to you by Armina Stone. It is the largest supplier of
Maybe he'll get a kiss
granite,
from Brady like his kid.
stone, marble, all your countertops taken care of by Armina Stone. Back with Penguin Talk. Speaking of Ron Burkle next.